Very quick announcement. We are officially giving away 250k accounts worth of prop firm challenges. Check the description straight after watching the entire video. Every single day, the markets follow the exact same patterns and it's not random. In fact, if we figured out a way to map this all out, we can then plot all the key points and stay one step ahead of everyone else. Now look, the reality is this: when us retail traders get involved in the markets, we are the small fish and we are simply used as liquidity for the bigger players, the ones who truly dictate everything. So what are these market patterns all related to? Well, it's not price, it's actually time. See, what I've discovered over the last few years of trading day in and day out is that there are specific times that institutions manipulate price before moving into the intended direction. Now, more likely than not, you've been caught by this exact move countless times. So in this video, I'm going to be revealing the best trading minutes within these key kill zones. And by the end, you'll know exactly which times to focus on, which times to avoid, and more importantly, turn session timing into an edge that can genuinely improve your trading results. By the way, if you don't know me already, my name's Diamant. I've been trading for the last 7 years, profitable for the previous 4, and I've helped hundreds of traders get funded and stay consistent with a systematic approach that removes all guesswork. Trading is all I do day in and day out, and today I'm going to be showing you the real clockwork that institutions use to actually move the markets. So let's get straight into this. Now, before we get into the details of everything to do with the key minutes in the entire day, we must first of all understand the foundation of everything that we are going to be exploring. And that is all to do with the daily liquidity theory. Now, typically in a trending environment, we are going to be expecting expansive daily candles. Now, what this typically means is our daily candle will look a little something like this, where it opens at some point, gives you the low, expands all the way to the high, and then finally pulls back down to the closure. Again, it's going to be vice versa for a downtrending environment. But the key point that we can actually learn from this is during all of these moves, on the lower time frames, you're going to get something interesting. You're either going to get a consolidation period, a manipulation period, and an expansion period. Now, for those of you who obviously know the concepts of ICT, this is all to do with accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Now, it's not to say that every single expansive day follows something like this, but typically on a US dollar pair, not a JPY pair, not any of the other pairs related to Asia ranges or Asia sessions, this is typically what we're going to look for. Now, another thing to note is during a 24-hour expansion period, you're going to get key time windows that you want to enter on. Now, let me quickly explain. You do not need to trade the entire Asia range. You do not need to trade the entire London session, and the same goes for New York session as well. Now, where do I get this from? Honestly, it's all to do with market experience. Of course, when you look on YouTube, people say different things, but for me personally, this is what I found is to be the most essential times in the day. Our Asia range for UK timing is going to be from 12 AM to 5 AM. By the way, pause the video, take a few notes. London session is going to be from 8 AM to 10 AM in the UK as well, 2 AM to 5 in Eastern timing, and then New York is typically going to be from 1 to 3. Now, does this mean that we cannot trade outside of these sessions? Of course not. If we see an A+ setup form perhaps half an hour after or half an hour before, we can still enter. But these are going to be the general time periods that I want you to stick to. Beyond that, what are the typical characteristics of each point as well? Now, during Asia range, specifically for the US dollar related pairs, you've got Euro US dollar, GBP USD. You can even extend this over to something like gold as well. Our Asia range is going to typically consolidate. Now, when we've got that consolidation and we know that we are in an uptrend, specifically looking for something like this with the expansive candle, London will be looking for a manipulation of the low of the day. Why the low of the day? Because if we are expanding upwards, essentially the institutions are going to try fake out a move towards the downside before actually reversing price all the way towards the upside. Now, New York is very key. It's either going to expand price or potentially it may even reverse. Now, we're going to get into a few examples to show you how this actually works in real time. And in fact, even look through one of the key examples that I've just entered on a trade today. But this is typically what you want to look for. Anything past 4 o'clock in the UK or 1 AM, 11 AM in Eastern time, and that's typically where price is going to slow down and you're not going to get the highest quality setups. So that essentially concludes everything to do with the daily liquidity theory. Now that we understand this, we can actually get into the key minutes that actually make the difference. So just a quick little break. If you are looking to get funded with one of the most reliable prop firms in the industry, then look no further than Blueberry Funded. So they've been ranked as the most trusted broker-backed prop firm, offering some of the best trading conditions and challenges to suit all of your needs, with the opportunity to even get instant funding as well. Now, their scaling plan is one of the most progressive in the industry, with 25% increases on your account every 3 months for completely free. Now, they bring in over 20 years of combined brokerage and prop firm experience, so you know you're in good hands, where they actually guarantee you zero payout denials as long as you can stick to all the rules. And exclusively just for you guys watching, Blueberry Funded is giving you the best possible deal at checkout. If you use the link in the description and use Diamant as a code, you will actually sometimes even get double the discount that they offer on their website publicly. Now, let's get straight back into the video. Cool, so now we fully understand everything about the daily liquidity theory, but how can we actually apply that to the specific minutes throughout the entire day? And this all comes down to this one thing, the golden confirmation times. Now, essentially what they are is even more specific than the general kill zone that we've been looking at previously. They're the actual minutes throughout the entire day that price will either continue with a massive acceleration, or it will reverse price. As you can see in this example, the type of movement. The first type is always going to be a pullback and continuation. Essentially, what you really want to look for is market structure to be on your side. So clearly here we are uptrending. You wait for that pullback, but specifically you wait for the pullback at the time of the golden confirmation. It's the same type of thing here as well. You're looking for an uptrend, the pullback, straight at an order block. As soon as we see that reaction at these timings, that's exactly what we're going to be looking for. Now, in terms of the actual minutes itself, there's going to be 4 main ones. In London session, you're going to have 8:15 in the morning and 9:30 in the morning as well. New York session will have 1:30 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. as well. And bear in mind, these are going to be UK times, so adjust them accordingly to wherever you may be. Now, how did I actually discover these specific timings? Really, what it comes down to is trial and error. Throughout my entire experience, I always understood everything about the kill zones itself. So obviously the 8 to 10 and even the 1 to 3. But specifically, throughout all of my backtesting, and bear in mind, I've done literally years at this point. I don't even know how many. And the amount of years that I've looked at with my students and everything, these are specific times in the day where price really does decide to accelerate. More specifically, when it comes to the 8:15 in the morning, this is typically a continuation. 9:30 is typically a reversal. And 1:30 and 2:30 will be either or. It really depends because obviously New York is full with news events and everything that comes out in terms of data release. But that's essentially what you need to know for there. Now, in terms of examples, I've got examples for every single one, but here are just 4 clear ones that you can use pretty much any single time. So London 8:15, as you can see, we were hitting an uptrend. Price pulled back all the way to this order block at exactly 8:15, as you can see in the screenshot. That's where we get the reaction. Again, when we look at some others, London session 9:30, what price decides to do is it continues, has that pullback at exactly 9:30, and that's essentially when we're still anticipating for it to continue with the trend. So remember, even though it is a reversal, technically it's only a lower time frame reversal. Price will eventually continue all the way following the trend. In terms of New York, 1:30, similar type of thing. And even the 2:30 timing as well. So this is essentially all you really need to know. In terms of the golden confirmation minutes, we've got 8:15, 9:30, 1:30, and 2:30. Now, all of this is going to be well and good to understand, but how can we actually apply it in the live markets? What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a few examples. Now, what better way is there to prove a live trade rather than one that you've actually entered yourself? This morning is literally this trade over here. When we look at Euro US dollar, we hit pretty much a 1 to 3 and it decided to move on even longer. But the whole point of this entire thing is it followed exactly what we're talking about today. An A+ setup occurred following the exact golden confirmation timings. Now, as you can see over here, we are going to consider a few things. Number one is going to be the context. Whenever we are looking at any of your trades, the main thing that you want to do is always align yourself with the medium time frame context, especially if you're low all the way down on the lower time frames. So what would I consider as the medium time frame? For me, it would be around the 30 to the 15-minute time frame. So specifically what we saw in recent times was we were only looking for sells. Now, for those of you that are in my free Telegram group, you would have seen all my analysis that I sent out this morning. I sent out gold, Euro USD, and GBP USD. No questions asked. It's completely free. So you can click one of the links down below Also, get that free A plus setup because you get literally everything that I talk about in this entire video, plus an entire free course as well. So just free for you. Anyways, this Euro US dollar trade pretty much made me 3% on that 100k account right there. And essentially, it was very simple. Context, moving bearish. That's the medium time frame done. You then want to look for your daily liquidity theory. As we can clearly see, Asia range formed throughout the night. We got this consolidation period. London session then gave us this manipulation move towards the upside. And that's exactly when the institutions decided to switch on. At that point, we obviously wait for our key timings. Either it's going to be 8:15 in the morning, or it's going to be 9:30 in the morning as well. In this particular time, we were going to stick to the 8:15 timing. Now, at times, it's not exactly going to execute at 8:15. It may be a few minutes before, maybe a few minutes afterwards. But the idea behind it is everything in terms of the context has fully been built up for you to then enter and completely execute the trade. So here's the little example. As you can see, context was obviously moving bearish. We waited for price to give us this little pullback upwards, straight into this supply zone up top. From that point onwards, we waited for a lower time frame change of character, and that's exactly what we got over here. From that point onwards, we waited for the pullback, which is exactly what we got at 8:15. And from that point onwards, we only look for one other confirmation, and that's that engulfing candle. Now, a lot of you might struggle to actually enter on something like this. Typically, there's two ways to enter the markets. You're either going to enter a standard limit. So what you could have done instead is something like this, where you literally just set it and you let price play out. But the issue with this is you leave yourself open to the market's movements. Instead, what I do is I like to put that into my own hands. If I see the market is intending to move a certain direction, I will enter accordingly, of course. Now, as price obviously continued onwards, literally just a few minutes afterwards, price executed with this 5-minute engulfing candle downwards. We enter market execution, stop loss just above the recent high, and we let price play out. Now, one of the nice areas that you can easily aim for every single time is going to be the Asia lows. Now, here's the little trick that I taught you from earlier. If Asia gives you the consolidation, London gives you the manipulation, you expect New York to give you that continuation as well. Or, of course, reversals in some scenarios. That's exactly what happened later on too. As price gave you that little pullback, it continued price. It pulled back all the way into this area over here. To be honest, it's not the greatest of zones. I was personally waiting for a re-entry up here. But regardless, it's exactly the same type of idea. You wait for a bit of the pullback, continuation again, same types of engulfing candles. You put your stop loss just above recent price and you'll take profit right at the bottom of the range. So in one day of price action, and you've seen the screenshots from MT5, you've seen literally the entry straight on as well, and obviously the analysis on Telegram. This is exactly what you should be looking for. So next time you really want to get into this daily liquidity theory and looking for them golden confirmation timings, stick to that 8:15, the 9:30, 1:30, and 2:30. I can almost guarantee you as well exactly that. So as you can see, just a bit after that 1:30 timing as well. So that's pretty much going to conclude all of this. Let's actually review everything that we've talked about today and wrap it up in 5 simple points. And so to wrap up our entire video, let's look at a few key takeaways from this entire lesson. Number 1, key kill zones are just rough timings that we actually look at. Essentially, what you can do is you can extend it 30 minutes afterwards or even 30 minutes before. So if it comes to London session, between that 8 to 10 o'clock timing, you can even take it from 7:30 all the way up until around 10:30 or so. The same for New York session. The next thing, London golden timings are going to be 8:15 and 9:30. Remember, 8:15 is continuation. Typically, 9:30 will be a reversal, but it could also act as a continuation if price was slow before. Number 3, New York golden timings are going to be 1:30 and 2:30 p.m. Obviously within New York session, but just be very careful whenever there is a big news event coming up. You obviously want to step aside for that moment. Number 4, the most important thing that you can do is to combine time and price together. They come hand in hand, just like the X and Y axis. That's exactly why we've even got it on TradingView as well. And then finally, if you want to master the daily liquidity theory, simply just do more practice and journaling. And what better way to do that than to actually get exactly my A+ setup model itself. I made this completely free. Before, I used to charge for this type of stuff, but I've given you this entire 7-step trade course as well. The PDFs, the playbooks, everything you're going to be needing, plus $1,000 worth of bonuses inside too, so you can get access to all of that. Guys, please like and subscribe if you found a lot of value from this. It helps me more than you can ever imagine, and I really do appreciate all the comments and all the support for these entire videos. So guys, click one of the links below or on screen and you'll get taken to one of the next videos. Anyways, take care. I'll see you soon.